Hello and welcome to FPSKivotos. I'm your host Bridge, and let's get started. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about a Vtuber custom, and the Vtuber in question is Mocha, or as many people know her as Mocha. She's a coffee cat Vtuber who really likes drawing and just like being cozy all the time. And even before we get to the gun, let's get started with the giveaway. I know that's what some of you are here anyway. And the item in question is the 222nd GRF patch. And I think these turned out really, really nice. If you guys want to have a chance to win one of these, you can probably see it up here, up above my head here. To enter the giveaway, all you need to do is go down in the comments section and type in "We Love Mocha," and in about a week or two, probably 2 weeks, I'm gonna go in there, do a randomizer to pick my lucky winners. I would prefer for it to be US only. It would just be a lot cheaper on me. I can attempt to do Canada, might be a little bit more expensive still, but it's a little bit less egregious than across the the ocean. Those can turn out to be like $30 or something, and it's like they're not really, patches aren't really worth that much. Also, to clarify, I have 10 of these to give away to you guys, so keep that in mind. If you are a winner, obviously in the 2 weeks, I will send you a reply on the YouTube thing to try to get your Twitter or your Discord. Most likely your Twitter, it may be easier that way. Well, maybe not, I don't know. But your Twitter account specifically, so I can get in contact with you to get your information to be able to send these out to you. But with all that out of the way, let's get to the main course. This is Mocha's firearm of choice. This is the PSA Dagger in a Recover Tactical 2020 chassis. This thing is pretty cool. It is basically a little PDW, personal defense weapon, but it's a Glock, it's a pistol. It's just a pistol inside of a fancy little polymer chassis, and I think it's really cool. As always, since it's a Vtuber Customs, there's no similarities because there's no art or anything like that. I'll just tell you what the gun is all about. So the base body of the gun is a PSA Dagger. It is actually a reused dagger of mine from a old project. If you know, you know. I actually, at the time, I didn't really like how that turned out. So I decided for this one, I would reuse it because that VTuber already had another gun. Liked a lot more than how the original dagger turned out. So I decided that it was best to reuse that one in particular. Beyond that, let's move on to just how the gun is set up. So the base coloration of the gun here is pretty neat because I have a nice fade color, so it fades from this brown to a little bit of a lighter brown. It's a little bit difficult to see into the black, and that's just how the upper receiver is kind of laid out. And as you can see here, the grip has the brown stippling here, and I think that turned out really nice to allow for more contrast. I've thought about doing like a fade down here, but I feel like actually having this section be just straight up brown is pretty nice, all things considered. One of the biggest elephants in the room here is the red magazine release. This is actually based on her 1.0 design, and I guess you can take the red from specifically her eyes, but it's in correlation to her 2.0 outfit. Obviously her new one that she has now, it has a lot more red on it, so that's where that kind of comes into play. I finished this before, that was revealed. Moving back here, we have the braced setup, or the chassis as a whole. Now, for legal reasons, this right here is not a stock. This is not a stock. This is a brace. US laws are very funny for my Canadian viewers. They're a lot better than yours, but they are still kind of annoying for us. This is a pistol. This is nothing more. This is a pistol inside of a chassis with a brace. Braces and stocks are a very, very weird topic in the firearms community. I'm not going to get too deeply into it, but essentially what I'm saying is that this is still a pistol through and through. But when it comes to coloration, I decided to continue on with the fade. So it starts with the brown here, fades into the black, and as you can see here, the button to fold the brace is actually a more tan color. I originally thought about doing the brown as well, but I kind of want a little bit more contrast because further up, as you can see here, we have the Picatinny rail mounts as the color, but I wanted that to be just a lighter color to make it more interesting. And obviously, as you can see here, it folds off onto the side here to make it even more compact, so you can actually use it more like a standard pistol like this, which is kind of weird, but honestly, in the firing footage when I was shooting like this, it was actually pretty accurate, and I was really impressed with that. Definitely a little bit more unwieldy, but it's pretty neat, all things considered. And obviously you can have it fold it out so you can have a little bit more balance for the most part. Moving up, we have the slide. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult to see, but I do have an attachment here. It replaces the back plate on the Dagger slide to allow you to actually charge the gun, because usually, you're gonna have to grab it from the sides here, and it's a little bit difficult because there's not a lot of room here anymore, considering, the chassis is there. But these little divots here allow you to grab it a little bit easier to, actually pull back the charging handle. For me, when I was using it, I kind of just pulled it like this to make it a little bit more, easier on myself. It is nice, all things considered. This is actually made for Glocks, generally speaking. They are able to be used on PSA daggers, but they're not entirely one-to-one, so I can't use the slide release here anymore. Partially, that's why this is there. So, if this was actually, loaded, I can just pull back the slide like that pretty easily to get it chambered in again. Moving forward here, we have the optics mount as well as the optic. The optic is mounted in a very interesting way. They have the side rails that allow for it to be, mounted at the top there. And this red dot is pretty cool. It's a knockoff SRO, Tatical SRO. It's about $100, and honestly, it's fared me very well. I actually really, really, really like this optic. I actually use this on Yui's AREX Delta, if you see that on Twitter. I want to get more of these because these are really nice optics. And I just like the profile of the SRO. I just don't want to spend $600 on a red dot. It's been working for a couple hundred rounds, so I'm not really super concerned. Also 9mm, so it is what it is. It's the job done, which is the most important thing to me. But moving up a little bit more, we have another Picatinny rail on the side here. If I want to put a light there, I have put a light there before, and it's a little bit difficult to manipulate because it's a little bit far away, but it's not too bad at the end of the day. Now, another thing, this chassis isn't on there permanently. All I need to do is take out this screw right here, take out this mag holder. That's another thing. Take out this mag holder here and basically just take this apart, because it just splits in half and it's just 1 and 2 done. It's pretty fast to take out and pretty easy to put on. And speaking of the mag holder, this is not a vertical foregrip. Hell, it's not even an angled foregrip technically. It is a mag holder. Obviously, you can use it as kind of like a extra place for your other hand, but its main purpose is that it can fit a magazine right there. It's a little bit weird with the, as you can say, higher capacity magazine, because YouTube doesn't really like other words. But yeah, it looks a little weird, but it works. It gets the job done. And to release it, there's no button or anything like how you would do it with a normal, mag release here. You literally just pull it out like that. But it's on there pretty tight, all things considered, so it's nice. So when you go for a reload, you can actually drop the magazine, especially if it's gravity. You can drop it down, and then you can drop the mag, grab a new one, place it in there, and lock and load again. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And this thing is pretty compact, and I really, really like it. I kind of want to get another one to actually use as like a backpack gun. A 9mm isn't like the most amazing at stopping power, but if you have a lot more stability, you can hit a lot more shots if you need to, right? So I think it's pretty neat, all things considered. But yeah, this thing it's super unique. It's super cool. I'm a really big fan of this, and I really, really like shooting this thing. And I mean, like I mentioned, I want to get another one with another Glock, or they actually make this chassis system. It's a little bit more expensive, but they make this chassis system for different guns like Canics and, well, stuff like that. It's pretty neat. I kind of want to get one of those for that specifically. It's called like the S Pro series or something like that. But yeah, they're very, very, very cool. But really, other than that, I mean, you can see all the firing footage. I had a really, really fun time with this thing. It's one of my favorite guns that I own. At least, I mean, like, it's just a Dagger, right? It's just a Glock clone at the end of the day. So it's not like anything super special, but I think the chassis as a whole just makes this thing really neat. And just, I mean, it looks futuristic. It looks cool as shit. I would love to get like a threaded barrel and throw like a comp, or hell, a suppressor even. That'd be really cool to get a can for one of these things and just use it as like a cool little backpack gun. I mean, like, look how small this can be. And you can use flush mag, so you can get like a 16-round, 17-round magazine, throw one in there and have one there, or you could even just have the higher capacity mag on the side. It's just, this thing is fucking tiny, and it fits really well for Mocha because, I mean, she is the cardboard cat after all, so this would definitely fit in a cardboard box really fucking easily. But yeah, this thing is fucking awesome. It's one of my all-time favorite pistols, and it's so much better than what it originally was. I didn't hate the original version, of this thing, but it wasn't my best work, and I'm really glad to allow for this to have a new home with Mocha. And I think her and the other VTuber that this was originally for really does enjoy how this turned out. But with all that out of the way, let's move on to the conclusion. If you guys have been enjoying this episode so far, please make sure to give many head pats to Mocha or fucking else. And make sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to know when I upload every single time. This was an absolute blast to make. One of my favorite guns, like I mentioned, during the Vire video. Mocha, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for supporting me through the things that I do. I know you've somewhat kept an eye on my progress, and it's really nice to see more people cheer me on. It really means the world to me that you care and so many other people care about the things that I do. You work so incredibly hard, and even though I'm not in chat all the time anymore these days, I do come around and lurk and just, at least come and say hi every once in a while. And I hope you know that I wish you the best in everything that you do. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this for you. It was an absolute blast. Like I said, definitely top 5 pistols I've made custom so far, Blue Archive or otherwise. This thing turned out fantastic. And I really hope the effort and the passion that I put into this one really shines. Same thing goes with the patches, obviously. I'm not the biggest fan of it being purple, but whatever. I mean, maybe I'm colorblind, I don't fucking know. But I think these really did turn out great. And like I said, if you guys want to enter, we love Mocha in the comment section. I'll pick you guys in a couple weeks. Now, for the future, we're closing in on the end of 2025. It's been an absolutely insane year, be it, projects, off-kai, everything. It's been an insane year. I've got a lot of ups, a couple downs here and there, but it's been really awesome. Thank you so much for almost 1,800 subscribers. It's been an absolute blast to continue doing the things that I love. Even though it costs a lot of money, I really do enjoy doing this. And if you would like to help in any way, I do have a Patreon. I need to update it more to actually, show off things that I'm teasing. But I can do a couple teasers here right now for future projects. I do have, obviously, other VTuber projects in the works, as usual. But I do have a good chunk of Blue Archive ones that I'm thinking about getting enough money to actually, do stuff with. Right now, I've got one gun on layaway. I've got about 600-ish bucks to still pay off on that. So it's got a little bit of time left in the oven. The big teaser for that one is that the gun that it's based on is unobtainable here in the US, or at least it's very, very hard to get. So I'm using a substitute gun that's as close as I can possibly legally get here in the United States. And as for the other teaser of exactly what it is, Oui Oui Baguette, if you have an idea there. So I have that on layaway. I want to get a Makarov because Takane obviously has a Makarov. The only thing that would be kind of difficult with that one is painting her barrel gold. So that would be interesting to figure out how to do. But Makarovs aren't super expensive, so I would definitely want to get that done for next year. As well as, I forget her name, but she's the witch girl from Wild Hunt that has the long barrel Carcano, or the infantry, I guess, Carcano. That one, I want to definitely get one of those and do her video. Very classic, me painting a bolt action rifle type deal, And then after that, we'll see, with more characters coming out, probably by the time those all get done, we'll see what else we can do. Very excited for the future of, the channel as a whole. It means the world to me that so many of you enjoy what I do, whether it be the VTuber episodes. I know, not everybody enjoys those because a lot of people watch them because they're not really characters from the game, but I do really enjoy making those custom guns for the VTuber communities. So thank you, even if you don't particularly care about the VTubers, that you guys watch them a little bit and enjoy the unique paint jobs on the guns. I do definitely want to upgrade how I do my paint jobs. I'm still going to do spray paint for the most part, just because it's a lot cheaper than doing anything else. So stay tuned for any more new designs that I decide to do. I can't believe it's already almost been 2 years of this channel. It's been an absolute blast, and I can't thank all of you enough for your support of everything that I do. Seeing people comment, seeing people like, seeing people subscribe to watch the things that I do is really awesome. It gives me so much motivation, even though it costs so much money. So I want to thank each and every single one of you for continuing to support me and all the things that I decide to do. Maybe one day I'll branch out and do more, guns from different characters from different, game universes. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll see. There will be a day that it's going to be very difficult for me to get specific guns from Blue Archive because of just expenses and just, everything around it. It will be difficult, but who knows? We'll see. This is probably the last time I get to see any of you before the start of 2026. So if you celebrate it, Merry Christmas to you all. Have a safe holiday. And of course, Happy New Year's to everybody. 2026 is hopefully going to be a pretty crazy year. I'm going to iykyk again, so there's going to be that weird gap in the middle of the year, but it was really fun the first time and I can't wait to go do it again. But as always, I've been your host, Bridge, and I'll see you guys in 2026.